I don't like doing vintage equipment because if I like it, then I can't recommend it. But, I mean, I could recommend you go searching for it in like the dumpster. But when someone said, hey, I've got a pair of KOSS Pro4AA three A's, 4A, now not the ones that I literally wanted to smash on camera. Because those are still sold. They make those. This was the one they made after that. And it's vintage, 1977, the guy says. His father bought them and never took them out of the box. Ever. I got them virgin. And I couldn't pass that up. So I'm like, yeah, okay, send it. There's an unboxing of it somewhere on the unboxing channel. I will link the unboxing of this, the original. Like, he's taken them out to take pictures and put them back in. But I took them out and I actually played them for the very first time in that unboxing. So that's a thing. You don't get many headphones that are 40 years old that never been played. I'm going to unpack the box and I'm going to send this back to him. But I want you to experience a little bit of it here. You got to understand that 1976, which is when this came out, 1977 when it was bought, it's a very different landscape of, well, every fucking thing. For example, look at these people. Look at them. Who has A, wicker furniture, B, is that lemonade? It looks like lemonade. Lemonade, wicker furniture. Dude's just chilling on the floor, holding his wife's hand. They're both listening to some KOSS headphones. They should bring this advertisement back, but make it like celebrities. Hearing is believing. Press to open. I forget what was in there. The manual's in here. Other things are in here. KOSS has been one of the only headphone manufacturers continually throughout history. And in fact, if you want to know more about KOSS's history, you can, let me look at the manual for a second. I will link in the description also. Oh, baby. Unmatched sound quality. With direct contour Numalite ear cushions. And a Perma Numalite suspension dual headband. They like to use the word Numalite a lot. I think they just... Oh my god, I should send in this warranty certificate and see if they like it. Male, female. Oh my god, there's not enough sexes on this. Warranty registration card number 388. Wow, that's just vintage things. Smells like vintage things. Extra wide, super smooth frequency response, 10 hertz to 22,000. Again, Numalite. Unique KOSS direct contour Numalite. Human engineered at KOSS for a balanced, comfortable fit. Extra wide, pleasure. All right. Website, little bug. Did it fly out of the headphones? Here's the history of everything that KOSS has ever made. All the way from 1958 with the world's first SP3 stereophone. All the way down. Where they're the Pro4AAAs. All the way down. Those Pro/4X Pluses, my father had those. I used to steal them. Uncomfortable fucking pads, holy shit. Moving on, we move on. Wait, do we pass it? Where is it? Oh, 1984. Porta Pros. I got like 4 pairs of Porta Pros. They're great. Keep going. No. Up. There's ESP 950 in 1990. Keep going. Look, the KSC 35s in 95. Then Sporta Pros, who cares? The UR40s, I reviewed those. KSC 75s, 2004. Now, have they just been great since 2004 and everyone's got a pair? Because they're pretty fucking great. Moving down, and then we got 2005. Bullshit. Porta Pro KTC with the little button. The Pro DJ 200. I did the Pro DJ 100s. That was like one of my first headphone reviews. And then, oh, by the way, they keep putting in the advertisements. Some of them are gold, and some of them are trash gold. These Pro 4S's, I think I have a set over there. These little SP series introduced in 2014 are great, but mine fell apart. And that's it. It ends in 2015. So, have they not made anything new in 4 years? Point of this story is, if you don't care, hi. These are the reason there's an angry Canon. Number one, the guy requested that I have a Canon wallpaper. So I put a K made of blue tack, but actually white blue tack on top to remind myself, because I'll forget. Oh, God. These don't suck as bad as you think they would for 40-year-old headphones. That's my story. I had DMS here when he was visiting last time, and I had these here. And what else did I have? The Stellias and a couple other things. And he put these on and went, you know, these aren't that bad. And they're not. That's the thing. Sound demo in the description. Sound demo will be live tomorrow. There's a volume discrepancy. When I first turned them on, they were pretty much fine. And now that I've been using them, probably going on a month and a half now, 2 months. And there's a slight, the left channel is a little bit weaker. But I mean, this is a geriatric pair of headphones. Nothing should have survived this long. Let's look at the build. And then we'll talk about the sound a little more. Because I could sum up the sound in like 1 minute. A little bit sibilant, a little bit sharp. But I'm running them through a 789. AAA. AAA, 789. AAA KOSS. This amplifier technology was nowhere fucking to be seen in 1970s. What was this? You got to keep in mind, not just the headphone. We can't judge the headphone as it is currently right here. You got to judge it then with those people. What fucking turntable set-top box unit did they have this plugged in to amplify it? Maybe it never actually could produce 20,000 hertz until now. Now with DACs and proper amps. So this could be, if I went back and got all the old vintage equipment and plugged it all in, it probably might even sound better. But with modern stuff, clean, new digital music being absolute... 77, there's no fucking cassettes. Never mind CDs. Was there cassettes? No, cassettes were like 80s, right? I don't remember, I'm not that old. But fucking... the fact that I'm playing like pure FLAC through a 789 through this and going, it sounds a little sharp. Of course it's sharp. There were no highs because you had only vinyl. And was 8-track a thing back then? 8 tracks maybe and vinyl. Those are your choices, or the radio. Sources were fucking scarce for headphones. So I'm judging this based off of 2019's fucking current level bullshit. Build quality. I guarantee you if this was taken out of the box in 1977 and used from that day to today, it'd still be fine. These are tanks. Can we just admire? They're designed based off of, when I did the Pro4AAs, the 2As, the ones that sucked dick. Dick in hell. That's what they sucked. They were the most painful, ugliest, fucking heaviest, worst sounding headphones I've ever reviewed, and I will stick to that story. These aren't that bad. Add another A. That's all you had to do. They have this little screw-on thing here for adding a microphone, because you could use these in avionics. You could literally be a pilot and buy these and either sit on your wicker furniture or go fly your prop plane. Plastic. I love this. The left indicator here is blue. The right indicator here is red. Something they've carried over. This is the KPH30i. Similar in color, not quite on the mark. I think they've probably tweaked it just a little bit so it's not like, ugh. Not that I hate this color, but that's a more neutral color. But they kept the blue and red. We got this, I could actually probably clean this with like rubbing alcohol, keep it nice. Got this chrome around here. Attached wire. What am I going to complain about an attached wire for? Jesus. I will compliment this wire though. You ready? I didn't realize it until I just sat down here to review this. I'm always bitching about coiled cables because the coiled cables have 7 inches of fucking straight, then the coil, then like 30 inches of straight. This is a perfect coiled cable. 7 inches, 7 inches, coil in the middle. That's what I want. That's what I want. I don't want it to be coil, 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 then straight for fucking half the length. That's dumb. This is great. Look how well this is held up, too. I mean, I know it was sitting in a box and not doing anything, but it's a great cable. It's a great attached cable. The head of it, 1/4 inch, because nothing had 3.5 millimeter then. Says KOSS, little grips, decent strain relief. It's still so fresh. How did this guy keep this like this? What was the place it was? I want to sleep there. We've got metal here into plastic swivels right there. Here's the bits that adjust. See these little fucking tabs here and here? That's so you can squeeze it. And you pull it apart. If you want to adjust it when it's on your head, you can put your thumb, squeeze it. It doesn't slide very smoothly, and I'm pretty sure that's just it never slid smoothly, which is why they had to put giant paddles. It says left in full English there. Leather, pleather, it smells like old. Doesn't smell like any particular dead animal. Stitching. 1 here, 2 here. Don't know why that's different, but oh wait, because they ran the wire across. Oh, 2 here, but 1 here because this wire runs through this. It's very, very, very simple design. Comfort strap. I didn't even know comfort straps were a thing. Oh, I broke it. Now Kanna's angry for a reason. I just wanted to pull it down a little bit. And it's apparently stiff. Yeah, so this is a hard... This has turned out to be a hard plastic. It's not broken, it just sort of like... It's like when you crack the spine of a book. It's just it's broken in now. Now they're broken in. Anyway, that's up there. Doesn't flex much, but it does have these, like... I guess they're air-filled? We gotta talk about the pads. We're gonna go past that incident that just happened. I'm glad at least I caught the sound of it. If that would have happened, like when I was prepping for this, I would have been upset. If it's gonna happen, let it happen on video. It's the way of the world. Rivets here, not screws. Just rivets, and I think you'd have to pull the whole thing. I don't want to pull out too hard. Don't pull anything now. Now I'm scared. So this twists this way, just enough. Just enough. Adjusts, out, tilts, clamps a little hard because lightweight wasn't even a concept in 1976. These things are heavy. I kill you with these. I don't know why they're so heavy either. I mean, I kind of know why. We've got to talk about the pads, and you can see my facial oils all over them. I apologize. But these are... I believe they're a fluid-filled. If they're not fluid-filled, then they're air-filled. But they're a sealed pad. They're not stuffed. Like, this isn't just like, oh, it's just a pad. Like Duconi sells pads. No. These, when you push one side, the other side gets bigger. And they're designed to work when your head hits them. It warms them up and they soften. And they unfortunately keep absorbing all this oil, which is bad, because my father's set, the one that I said I hated because it was so fucking uncomfortable, were just like this. Only he'd been using them for years, and then I was using them for probably a couple months, years. And the oils get in there, and your skin gets in there, and it hardens it. It's like when you take out a piece of macaroni out of a pot and you just let it sit in your stove. What happens to it? It turns to a rock. These will turn into a rock eventually. The owner wanted me to take these pads off and try on like brainwaves pads, and I refuse. Not because I'm an asshole and I'm just denying a request, because I'm pretty sure if I go to remove these, I'm going to destroy them. And since they are filled with oil, I believe they're filled with oil, they're either pneumatic or oil filled, or a combination of both. I don't know, it feels squishy. You could just see what this is gonna feel like on the side of your head. They're not the greatest pads in the world, but when you get a seal, they fucking seal. Your driver's back here behind the ton of plastic. It actually looks like a KSE-75 driver. I wonder if you could 3D print different add-ons for this to make it sound different. But once you get it, you gotta get them warm. That's why when I took them off, it kind of sucks, because I was here prepping for this review, and then I took them off, and now they've been sitting here. So then they cooled off. So now the whole heat-activated pad thing has to be recharged. Which means I gotta put them on my head for another 5-6 minutes. And then they'll start to soften up. And then I'll take them off and I'll go get a drink and then I'll come back and they'll be hard again. And it's like, that was a bad concept. But when this was literally for flying planes. I'm putting them on. I could hear myself talking barely. I actually, a little bit of a crickle in the left one because the seal is so perfect against my head, it's moving the drive around, which is probably why it's quieter on that side. I've listened to vintage headphones before. I had those big Sonys, and they all sound shitty. Like, just straight up, they're garbage. I wouldn't want to even listen to music on them. And these don't. These sound decent. A bit uncomfortable to wear, but you forget about that. Once the pads warm up and you're just sitting here, it's like, oh, these are just some big old heavy headphones, and they're heavy, and my head feels like it wants to smash on the table from the weight. But you skip through your music, and it doesn't have like the widest sound stage. You're not going to be like blown away by width. But it's actually got clarity to it. Maybe because every vintage set I've ever used has been used. And these are brand fucking new 1977 headphones. Vocals. Perfect. Perfectly fine. Absolutely acceptable. If brand new fucking Bear Dynamics came out and they were like, here's your set, well, the vocals are good. I'm glad I spent $200 in these headphones. Where these headphones fail, where they cannot compete in a modern day, is complex music. When I do the sound demo, which I did before this video, there's only one track on that 10 tracks that was made before these headphones, and it was by The Doors. And they sound great on that track by The Doors. There's a quiet, singing track, Begin the Begin, which is from the Rocketeer soundtrack, but it's set in the 40s, so that's also the type of music you would hear on these headphones. There was no thrash metal in 1976. There was no metal. And then I got techno and Stone Temple Pilots. Like Stone Temple Pilots' Pretty Penny is playing right now. And it's a nice, slow, methodical guitar song. And that's fine. Soon as you introduce this, Billy Joel Leningrad will work too. Soon as you introduce this as something like...
It's 105 degrees in here. It's your soundtrack of love.
Well, this is from Vice City, which is also set in the 80s, which is set after this. So just pointing that out. But anything that comes on that has like Deadmau5, or anything with a lot of composition, everything is going on, these sort of go, ah, what is this? I was not designed or tested with any of this in mind. Ah! And they break up. And you're going to hear that in the sound demo. But if it's quality, methodical music that doesn't overcrowd, just try to make those little baby drivers do too much, they're fucking great. And that is why we're at Angry Kana again. Because if headphones sounded this good in 1977, what the fuck happened to all headphones? Why am I just here in 2019? I've been doing this for 5 years now. And I feel like every year I eventually, like, the average moves up. Like, there's better headphones every year because I'm discovering them. Because I already did this. Well, this is like finding out that, in 1873, the flying car was invented. And now we're like, oh yeah, maybe we'll do that in the next 10 years. It's already been invented. There's already a great fucking headphone. Why aren't headphones exponentially better than this now? This is a very rare occasion. You're never going to find a set that's been used for like 22 hours. I didn't burn them in after I got them used, by the way. I just used them. I don't want to burn them in because we already have a driver issue and they're old. They're old and decrepit, but I love them. They're really well built, but I know that something's going to fail. And if they do fail, I implore the owner to go out and get another set of KOSS drivers and just shove them in these motherfuckers. They don't have to be the original driver, but just make them work again. Because of the wire, for the build quality, for the weight, and for the look. Why the fuck on earth did KOSS decide? Here's what's on. When you look up KOSS Pro4AAA on Amazon, that's what shows up. Why did they decide to not bring these back and instead bring these back? Which can I get a picture of this? The 4AAs. They're not good. They're garbage. Those are garbage. Oh, look, the box. Hearing is believing. I heard them. I believed I wanted to die. Unless my set was bad. But $71. It was great. It was cool to try that out. Bring these back, KOSS. Bring these back, but change the pads. Make sure the driver is a driver from one of your other more modern setups. You can keep the keep exactly this wire, because we need it. And I'll buy a pair. $150 for a vintage set of KOSS that actually won't have discrepancies in the left and right, and a little bit more comfort. Sold. Fucking sold. A truck's pulling away. There was people in the back seat. I don't know what they were doing. Probably something dirty. Yeah, I'm pissy that headphones didn't always get better than this. Why weren't they just better? Music got different. The 80s came around, and hair metal happened, and power ballads and things like that, and maybe KOSS couldn't keep up. Why isn't KOSS the number one name in headphones right now? In 2010 plus. They've been doing this shit since 58, and they got some winners. The fucking Porta Pros have been out since 84. Were they waiting for me and YouTube? These are some of literally the best headphones you can buy today. And I'm not talking about, oh yeah, if you need like a cheap headphone, Zeos. No, fuck you. RMAF. These were hooked up to the only $789 there. These. I have a $6,000 German tube amp. This was the third set of headphones I put on it. You know, the first one was HC600s, then Stax L700s, then KOSS KPH30Is. That was the order of, I gotta hear what these sound like on this amp. I'm gonna try to talk to KOSS. I have a contact there. Though they donated a ton of these to give away at RMAF. A ton of the KSC75s. I want to see if they want to collaborate with me. Like, hey, how hard would it be to put in a detachable cable on this? And then write, like, Zeos Edition. I don't care if I make $0 on that. I would love, because people are modding these in my patronage chat as we speak. They're not hard to take apart. These are actually, this is my pair, and these are not the stock pads. These are the Yaxi pads. I'll link the Yaxi pads in the description. And they don't look different. My God, the cat hair. My God, the cat hair. But they're just a little bit thicker. These stock pads, this were okay. A little bit thicker pad. You stretch them out. I had them stretched out over a foam block like that for like a week and a half. You remove the clamp down a little bit thicker pads. If these had the ability to put MMCX connectors on it, and I could put just a nice short IM cable on here. You want to keep the microphone? You got an IM cable with a microphone. You want it to be longer? You just want to. I want to be able to detach it. These are. Some may think with their head, but I think with my mouth, baby. That's me. These are legit some of the best headphones you could currently buy in the world. And you know how you could find out? They're $20 on Massdrop and $30 on Amazon, usually what they run. I will link to those, because I can't link to these. So I'll link to the history, I'll link to... What the fuck else was I going to link to? Whatever that other thing I said I was going to link to. And to just as many places as you could buy the KPH30Is. Because if you have Porta Pros and you have KSC75s, and you think, well, I don't need another cheap KOSS because I already have those. Yes, you fucking do. And I don't care if these said they came out in 2004 or something. This version, this year, these are the best headphones. And these are where they came from, or at least a very, very distant ancestor. You could see it. They've even got they've got these tastes of sameness to them. I'm honestly going to miss these when they go. But I know what will happen if I kept them around. They just sit in a shelf. And now that they've been used, they have to be used. We gotta clean. I gotta clean. Get rubbing alcohol. Clean off the pads. Try to keep those from getting solid like rocks. You gotta keep them in a temperature-controlled environment. You gotta take them out and you gotta show people. Hey, look, you want to hear these headphones from 1977? And then people will listen to them and go, "Huh, that's not bad." It has to be not bad. That's not bad. It's not bad in 2019. You fix the comfort and tune out that sibilance that is probably there just because, again, there was no modern music, and of course modern music has more treble. I think you could have a fucking great time with these headphones. Bring these back. Or make detachable cables in the goddamn KPH30Is. Because I've got a bunch of... KOSS sent me like a grab bag. I unboxed it. And I'm going to be honest, 3 out of 4 things in there were not good. Not good. They're very hit or miss, current KOSS. Current KOSS is hit or miss. When they get something right, it is so fucking right. But when they get it wrong, it's like, oh, buddy. Like the Pro4AAs. That is the worst headphone I've ever heard, and one of the best headphones I've ever heard, coming from the same company. Why? We'll discuss that in future generations on Z Reviews here. Kana, very angry Kana. She's angry. Wallpaper in the description. If you want every wallpaper I've ever used, $2 tier on my Patreon gets access to that. Just check the comments under every post. $5 patrons get to see all these reviews early. You also get to participate in the yard sale from the 1st to the 10th of every month. Anything that I've bought, been sent, or had donated from users. I've actually had a couple things before RMAF donated. I'll sell them at the yard sale to you. 1st to the 10th of every month. If you're in the $10 tier, that is the private Telegram tier. So you get into a private Telegram chat with like 130 people now, I think. It's hit as high as 200, but it refreshes every 3 months. And people that don't stay in the thing, you know, God bless you for being there in the first place. I'll see you in the future. But that's my jazz story, and I'm sticking to it. I'm gonna go to sleep now. I'm gonna pack this back up tomorrow during my live stream on Sunday, and we're gonna enjoy this. I enjoyed having these here. I got to take the virginity of something older than me. Is that cool? I'm pretty sure that's cool. It's cool.